The title of this audiobook presentation is Project Genesis, The Gathering of Superheroes, and it is narrated by the author W.B. Stiles. My name is Walter Bruce Stiles, author of Project Genesis, The Gathering of Superheroes. My pen name is W.B. Stiles, and you can find me on the web at wbstiles.com. Thank you for listening to my audiobook. I hope you enjoy hearing the first volume of Project Genesis Saga, as you are introduced to a world of amazing people who do astonishing things but must learn to control their power. This is their story, and we get to listen in and share in the building of a team which will be pushed into action by malevolent forces that want to control society and bring harm to many people. I hope you enjoy the audiobook as much as I did in narrating it. Thank you again for listening. Dedication. To Norma Stiles, my mother, your encouragement was priceless. Project Genesis, The Gathering of Superheroes by W.B. Stiles. Prologue. Long before Christopher Columbus walked the earth, a meteor began falling from a place beyond the Earth's atmosphere towards the continent that is known today as North America. As the mysterious object made its descent into the atmosphere, it did not burn up from the intense heat as most meteors do. It survived to become a bright projectile that cut through the night sky like a missile with a long, blazing tail. Traveling in a northwest direction towards a mountain range on the west coast, it moved at a very high speed. Finally, the meteor ended its long journey with a spectacular show of fireworks as it penetrated a great mountain. With the horrendous force of impact, it burrowed into the mountainside. The lights from the collision illuminated the night sky, and a deafening rumble echoed through the forests. The mountain was set ablaze as the object came to rest deep within the earth. With its great fanfare, this light show was the beginning of a series of events that lead us to the story of The Gathering. Project Genesis, The Gathering of Superheroes by W.B. Stiles. Chapter 1. Jane heard the car sputter and choke as it slowed down drastically. It was losing power very quickly. There seemed to be just enough momentum in the vehicle to pull over to the curb. Jane was not a mechanic, so when the car died and would not restart, she knew the only way she would get it out of there was with someone who had mechanical knowledge or a tow truck. She was driving in a part of Seattle that was not one she frequented because of the high crime rate, and she was unfamiliar with the area. It was starting to get dark and looked like it would rain shortly to add to the predicament. Reaching for her cell phone, she saw the blank screen and realized it was dead. She'd forgot to charge it, and with no charger in the car, her only chance of getting a tow truck was to find a payphone that worked. To make matters worse, when Jane got out of the car, she slipped and twisted her ankle, sending an excruciating shot of pain up her leg. She hobbled over to the curb and leaned against the car. Sure enough, it started to rain. As the last signs of sunlight disappeared, she discovered there was only one working street light on the block. She remembered that she had passed a service station 2 blocks back and contemplated how she was going to make it to the phone there with a bad ankle. "When you mess up, you do a good job, Jane," she scolded herself. It was getting dark and raining harder. In this predominantly commercial area, there were very few houses, plus it was Sunday, so most of the businesses were not open, and there were no people close by that she could ask for help. Jane was an attractive woman in the eyes of most people. In her late 20s, she had all the right measurements: a fair complexion, shoulder-length light blonde hair, and blue eyes. She had a small nose, and her lips were dark pink. She was a good reporter and had been on staff for several years, but she probably took more chances than most of her colleagues. She had ventured out there on a lead into the slasher story. The top story for some 3 weeks had been about a deranged person who was attacking young women with a knife and doing unspeakable things to them with the blade. 3 women were dead, and 1 was in intensive care because of the Seattle slasher's actions. This was the name people attached to the killer.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?